So, who's in my Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2004? Up first, Axe. He's finally joined his partner Smash slash Repo Man in the Hall of Fame. Initially known as the Masked Superstar, modern wrestling fans know him as Axe, one half of the legendary tag team Demolition. He's a former tag champion and was ranked number 112 as a singles wrestler on the PWI's years list. Next, Brian Adams. Better known to WWF fans as Crush, Brian had a knack for always evolving his look with time. And while he was decent as a singles wrestler, he was more successful when he was in a team or a faction. Some tag teams slash factions he has been a part of in the past include Demolition, the Nation of Domination, DOA, the NWO, and Chronic. He's a former tag champion. PWI ranked him number 35 in their top 500 in 1993. They also ranked him in their years list, number 289 on their singles list, and number 59 on their tag team list with Demolition. Up next, Brian Knobbs. He's as nasty as he wants to be, and he's the hardcore half of the Nasty Boys. He's a former tag and hardcore champion. The Nasty Boys was awarded Tag Team of the Year in 1994 by PWI. Then PWI ranked them on both of their years list. Number 409 on their singles list, and the Nasty Boys ranked number 53 on the tag list. And then on this channel, he was ranked number 6 in our top 10 back in 94. Up next, Bunkhouse Buck. None came any tougher or crazier than Bunkhouse Buck. He's a former tag champion. Up next, Butch. One half of the Bushwhackers, one of the most beloved tag teams. PWI ranked him on both of their years list. Number 493 on their singles list, and number 71 with the Bushwhackers on the tag team list. Up next, Dino Bravo. The Canadian strongman had a solid run. Unfortunately, his life was cut short after an alleged run-in with the mob. He's a former tag champion. PWI awarded him the most improved wrestler and ranked him at number 179 on their years list. On this channel, he was number 7 in our top 10 back in 1988. Up next, Howard Finkel. Considered to be the best ring announcer of all time, his iconic voice has been connected with so many great memories in pro wrestling history. Up next, Ivory. She has had a long and storied career, which began as Nina in Ladies Professional Wrestling Association. Later, she would become one of the Godfather's hoes before becoming a manager of D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry. From there, she transitioned into becoming a wrestler again, winning gold multiple times. Her last big run was a part of the group Right to Censure. Funny to think that she went full circle as prostitute to prudish conservative. All in all, she has always been considered one of the better in-ring wrestlers in the WWF/E. She's a former women's champion. Up next, Junkyard Dog. JYD was hugely popular. During the territory days, he was the first black wrestler to be the top wrestler in a promotion. Known for his signature chain and his impressive upper body strength, no one quite did it like the Junkyard Dog. He's a former 6-man tag team champion. He won WWF's first pay-per-view tournament, the Wrestling Classic. PWI awarded him the Inspirational Wrestler of the Year award. They also ranked him number 51 in their years list. And he is in the WWF Hall of Fame. On this channel, he was in our top 10, ranked at number 1 in 1985. Up next, Conan. Before coming to America, he was a huge superstar in Mexico, holding the Mexican Championship. He has had lots of success in America and has been a part of numerous stables such as the NWO, the Filthy Animals, and 3 Live Crew. K-Dog has always been in the mix. Outside of wrestling, he was also a rapper. He's a former tag, US, and TV champion. In 1996, PWI ranked Conan number 25 on their top 500 and number 131 in their years list. And this channel, he has been in our top 10 back-to-back years, number 8 in 1996 and number 10 in 1997. Up next, Luke. And here's the other half of the Bushwhackers, Luke. As mentioned previously, the Bushwhackers were insanely popular. PWI ranked Luke twice on their years list, number 363 as a singles wrestler, and the Bushwhackers were number 71 as a tag team. Up next, Medusa. A true pioneer in women's wrestling. Started off in the AWA winning the women's title, and then became the first woman to be awarded PWI's Rookie of the Year award. She'd go off to wrestle in Japan and then join the Dangerous Alliance in WCW. As a London Blaze, she joined WWF and won the women's title 3 times. Going back to WCW, she would famously toss the WWF women's title in the trash on Nitro. She was the first woman to win the Cruiserweight title. Her biggest feuds included Bull Nakano, Bertha Faye, and Oklahoma. While in WCW, she trained Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, and Molly Holly. Outside of wrestling, she was also a successful monster truck driver. She's a former Cruiserweight and Women's Champion. PWI awarded her Rookie of the Year in 1988. Up next, Mean Gene Okerlund. Considered to be one of the best pro wrestling interviewers of all time. He has conducted some of the most memorable interviews and has been part of so many iconic moments in pro wrestling history. Up next, Nikolai Volkov. Well, that's not how you spell his name. Well, that's how they spelled it during the last pay-per-view appearance at WrestleMania 17. Anywho, Nikolai Volkov is the best known for representing the USSR/Soviet Russia during the Cold War. As a single star, he main evented as a single star, he main evented events wrestling Bruno Sammartino for the world title. But he was best known as a tag wrestler in the 70s as part of the Mongols and the Executioners, and then during the modern era with the Iron Sheik, and then as part of the Bolsheviks. He would embrace the American way in the early 90s and start feuding with his former partner Boris Zukov and Sergeant Slaughter, an Iraqi sympathizer at the time. His last major run was when he was poor and became a lackey for the $1 Million Corporation. He's a former tag champion. PWI ranked him number 134 in their top 500 in 1994. He was also ranked. They also ranked him twice in their years list at number 136 as a singles wrestler and number 96 as a tag team with the Iron Sheik. Up next, Norman Smiley. British wrestler who developed more of a chicken shit scared persona and became a surprise success in the hardcore division. He's a former hardcore champion, and PWI ranked him at number 107 in their top 500 in 2000 and number 375 in their years list. Up next, Rocco Rock. The Flyboy, Rocco Rock, is best known as one half of Public Enemy. They wrestled for ECW, WCW, and the WWF. They popularized the use of tables in mainstream wrestling. He's a former tag champion, and PWI ranked him at number 457 in their years list. Up next, Sags. Joining his partner is Jerry Sags. He is best known as one half of the brawling tag team, the Nasty Boys. He's a former tag champion. PWI awarded the Nasties Tag Team of the Year in 1994. He was also ranked on their years list twice, at number 420 as a singles wrestler, and at number 53 with Brian Knobbs as the Nasty Boys on the tag team list. In this channel, he was in our top 10 at number 7 in 1994. Up next, Samu. Best known as one half of the Samoan SWAT team / the Head Shrinkers, Samu was a savage, wild Samoan who was also a tag specialist. He's a former tag team champion. Up next, Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter is a real American hero. He has had success with the AWA, NWA, and WWF, and has headlined WrestleMania. Known for his military persona, he also voiced himself on G.I. Joe. He's a former world and U.S. champion. PWI awarded him the most inspirational wrestler in 1984 and the most hated wrestler in 1991. They ranked him at number 36 in their top 500 in 1991. They also ranked him in both of their years list. Number 34 as a singles wrestler, and number 29 with Don Canoodle as a tag team. He was also inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Up next, Shane Douglas. What? This is Tom Zink and not Shane Douglas? Well, Tom Zink's last pay-per-view appearance, he was pretending to be Shane Douglas under a mask. So what does it matter if his Hall of Fame induction, huh? Anywho, the Z-Man was a journeyman who wrestled for WWF, AWA, and WCW. He's a former TV, US, tag, and six-man tag champion. PWI ranked him number 38 on their top 500 in 1992. They also ranked him number 343 in their years list. Up next, the Texas Tornado. Kerry Von Erich, a member of the Von Erich dynasty, had a complete package as a wrestler. Unfortunately, tragedy struck too soon for him. He's a former world and intercontinental champion. PWI awarded him Match of the Year in '84 versus Ric Flair. Most popular wrestler of the year, also '84. He was ranked number 40 in their top 500 in 1991. He was also ranked on both of their years list. Number 24 as a singles wrestler, and number 23 as a tag team with all of his brothers. Up next, Tugboat. Tugboat entered the wrestling world as a friend and ally of Hulk Hogan. Later, as Typhoon, he would team with Earthquake and form the Natural Disasters. The Natural Disasters would dominate the tag division. After that, he would become the Shockmaster, but his clumsy turn would be the beginning of the end. He's a former tag champion. And on this channel, he has been in our top 10 twice. Number 9 in both 92 and 93. Up next, The Undertaker. No wrestler has had the impact nor the legacy quite like The Undertaker. Starting out in WCW as Mean Mark, he would eventually make his way to WWF and cross over to the dark side. He became the Dead Man, an Undertaker who ran a funeral business on the side. Either way, he is the master of the mind games and lord of all things spooky. Later, he would trade in his dead man look and become the American Badass and start dressing like a biker. He's undefeated at WrestleMania. His half-brother Kane, they have a very love-hate relationship, but when they do team, they are known as the Brothers of Destruction. He is a former world, tag, and hardcore champion. PWI awarded him Feud of the Year with the Ultimate Warrior and Match of the Year, his Hell in a Cell match against Mankind. They also ranked him number 2 in their top 500 in 2002. They also ranked him number 21 in their years list. On this channel, he is a 3-time top wrestler champion. He has also been in our top 10 4 times. Number 10 in 92, number 4 in 95, number 3 in 96, and number 9 in '01. That makes him eligible to be inducted into the Triple Diamond Club. And finally, he is the head of the class for the class of 2004. Up next, Vader. Considered one of the best big men in the business. Just a brutal, tough super heavyweight. Known for his moonsault and the Vader Bomb. He's a former world, US, and tag champion. He also won the Battle Bowl in '93. PWI awarded him Wrestler of the Year in 1993. He was also ranked number 2 in their top 500 in '93. And he was ranked on both of their years list. Number 27 as a singles wrestler and number 36 with Bam Bam Bigelow as a tag team. On this channel, he's a former top wrestler champion and was ranked in our top 10 twice. He was number 8 in '93 and number 9 in '94. This qualifies him to be in the Triple Diamond Club. And finally, Waylon Mercy. And the last inductee into my Hall of Fame is Dan Spivey / Waylon Mercy. In WWF, he wrestled as the Golden Boy, but he went to WCW and developed a mean streak and became dangerous. He would form the Skyscrapers, first teaming with Sid Vicious, then Mean Mark. His last appearance was as Waylon Mercy, a southern gent who would turn brutal on you. PWI ranked him number 43 in their top 500 in 1992. This is the class of 2004.